Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be walking through an awesome one of automating actually your website's newsletter to actually use AI agent to automate your monthly newsletter. So right now, if you're seeing my screen, we're actually using uh, a business website fixlab.com. So where we have actually help clients to stay afloat in different areas. We offer them maybe mobile application or cybersecurity related stuff. So right here, so what we're trying to automate is basically uh, when someone joins the newsletter, we want to be able to send them uh, monthly emails. But this time around, because we we want to use AI to actually handle that, and that would give them more capacity because the kind of information the AI is going to be able to share will be more complex and easy than what we'll probably have to do. And it will save us a lot of time doing this manually. The AI agent is going to be able to do research and find topics around what we want to actually share with the user. And that would save us tons of time, trying to craft all these emails ourselves, try to do the research ourselves, and then, looking up these emails ourselves, checking if we've actually sent for this guy already and all of that. So those things will be automated, and that's the essence of this particular tutorial. So without wasting much time, I'm going to show you what we're trying to do. So this is a website, and here we have the input box for these emails. So where we just, okay, give us your email address. I'm going to use this random disposable email, james@hotmail.com. I'm going to show you the sheet. Currently, if you look at the sheet, you can see that the sheet is blank. We don't have anybody on the list. All right. So, and with that, I'm just going to go back to the site and I will hit send. So while that is going, I'm going to go back here. You can see I already got a pop-up. You can see that we have james@hotmail.com, and the email sent is false for this guy. And if I go down to, actually, so right now, the email has been sent and we can see that from the sheet. So the only thing we need to do is to go back to the n8n, which is actually the tool that we're using to actually do this very automation. So I'm going to go back into the n8n. I'm going to explain what is going on. First of all, I'm going to just run the workflow uh, so that you see an example of what we're looking at, right? I'm just going to click on execute workflow and it's going to get to the job. First of all, it's going to read this very worksheet that I showed you now. Then you can see that it only found one email address there. Then it's going to do a research. After the research is done, it's going to update the information, right? So to update the information, this is using Tavily. Tavily is almost like Perplexity for researches, right? So you've done the researches, you've been able to find 7 items related to what we expect it to actually share, and then you prepare the email. You can see that we have one item. The reason why we have one item is because in the worksheet we only have like one email address there, but the reason why you have 7 items here is because the items that the LLM is preparing has like 7 items in it. So it has to find some key information and make sure that it picks them and then use that to actually write the email. And the email has been sent. You can see from here, got back a send, and this is the actual email. And then it updated the status of the sent status of the email to be true here. So if you go back to our worksheet, you would see that email send is now true because by default, when the guy was entered via the website, once you join here, you are defaulted to false. All right. So, but right now, it's now marked to true. And to check that, to confirm that what we did is actually correct, we're going to check out this email and to see what was actually sent to that guy. So his email is James. We're going to check out this is where the email is coming from. And you can see that we have like about key 7 items: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So, dear valued client, this month we dive into the evolving landscape of cybersecurity and AI, providing you with critical updates and practical solutions to enhance your business operations. So we, point out some of the key things that is happening. This email can actually be enhanced. This was just to give you like idea of what is possible. All right. Key cybersecurity trend as we venture into 2025, enhancing cybersecurity measures is paramount. Notably, the integration of AI cybersecurity is evolving. Business must adopt secure AI-enabled transformation strategies, emphasizing risk accountability and risks and increasing cyber threat. So, LLM focused security. So, the OWASP LLM top 10 has emerged to address security risks surrounding large language models. So, if you're in the cybersecurity threat, ecosystem, you would know about OWASP, and then they have actually added LLM as one of the top priority right now because there's a lot of things happening in the LLM space in terms of security, like prompt injections and all of those things that is happening around large language models being probably hacked or tricked to give out some specific kind of information. All right, AI agent news. So there are some news. Exciting development in AI agents are reshaping operations. Genies AI has recently secured $6 million in funding to further enhance their AI agent platform, making it a significant milestone as AI transition from trial to essential business asset. So top players of the month, industry leaders making waves include Cloud AI, Grok AI, and Stability AI, all showcasing advancement. So sort of this newsletter gives you like kind of a view of whatever is happening around the cybersecurity and AI trend space. All right. And then it ends with a call to action around consider AI automation solution that streamline operations, enhance productivity, and reduce operational disturbances by integrating AI into your core processes as you can improve. All of these things were written by the agent. We did not do these things ourselves. So that's just the essence of the whole automation. And let me now walk you through the actual stuff that we have in the workflow. All right. So going through the agents now, you can see what stuff we have here. So the first thing that you need to meet is the schedule trigger. So the idea is that monthly, maybe first of every month, we trigger this workflow triggers on its own, and then we'll be able to pass in this date to the next. The agent is going to pick up this date later. So, but once that starts, the first thing you need to do is to go to our worksheet. And how do you use your worksheet? If this is your first time trying this out, so if you add, n8n has a lot of tools that you can actually use. This one is actually a Google Sheet tool that enables you to actually perform operations around anything that you want to do on Google Sheets. You can see, for instance, first thing that you need is your credentials. So, what is your credentials? Your credential is actually the way you authorize n8n to actually read information from your Google Sheet or to like edit, write, change, and make all of those operations that you can actually do manually. So you create that sheet, and how do you do that? First of all, if you don't have one, you go to create your credentials, then use this particular option, open docs, so that it shows you like all the necessary things. Most of the time, I find it easy to, if you follow this guide, go to the Google console, create your Google project and all of that. Make sure that you enable most of these guys so that whenever you are doing anything related to Google, you will already have that permissions already. So you can always go through this link. Each time you want to create a new credentials, you will always find that available. All right. So with that already off the way, all you just need is just to create the credential. I already have one. And because my n8n is actually not, I'm not using the cloud one that is run by n8n. So I'm running the community version that is self-hosted on my own server. So it might look a little different by the URL that you're seeing here. So this might be different from yours. So if you don't know anything at all, you just go to n8n.io, n8n.io this way. So n8n is a powerful workflow platform that enables you to automate literally anything, starting from IT ops, SecOps, DevOps, sales, anything at all that you can actually imagine, and you know how to work around it, you'll be able to do it in n8n. So that being said, in your Google console, you will be able to get your, if you're creating an old kind of credentials, you get your client ID and the client secret. So this is recommended for this. You can also use service account, but this is what n8n recommended. So I'm not going to just save this guy. I'm just going to discard it because I have one that is already working. So close this. And then the get sheets. So once you have the credentials set up, then your resource is actually sheet within document. So in our case, you can see that we have a sheet within document. So which is a sheet. This is the sheet one here. This is sheet two. So the sheet within document is what we're working on. So all right. And then once you have that up, then what is the operation that you want to do? You want to get rows. You want to pick rows from that particular worksheet, which is like all the email addresses that don't have there has but email sent status to be false. So we want to send one. Imagine if I have like 1,000 emails in that sheet. You don't want to pull all of them if you've already sent email to them. So that's why in that sheet you have like a status of email sent to be either false or true. By default, once you come from the website, it has to be false. All right. So, but once email is sent to you, we update that guide to true so that the next time the workflow runs, it doesn't pick up the same person. So that's for the get rows. What we're doing is get from list which document we want to get. So we're getting the web fix lab website email, which is the name of this worksheet. So just be careful to know that you have to pick this particular one that you created for that, and then we're picking sheet one. The sheet one is where we're interested in. In this case, you could have multiple sheets there. So if what you're working on is on different sheet, then you have to pick that specific sheet name here. Then if you have renamed your sheet, you also have to look out for the name that you change it to. Now, the filter is very also critical. So we are filtering only where email sent is for so that it doesn't return us the one that has email sent to be true. All right. So that's just this for the first sheet node. All right. And after that, we go into the main brain of of the the newsletter management. So this is we call this guy FixLab newsletter agent. And what does he do? He has two tools. He has one tool and then he has a chat model. And we're using Chat GPT model here. So if you open up that model, I have a credentials that I called OpenAI FixLab. And I'm using GPT-4 mini, which is pretty basic and it can do all of the things that we need and even beyond that. So how do you create credentials? You can also do it the same way. You click on create credentials, then open the docs and it's going to give you a guide on how to do that. Just the same way you're able to create the other one. There's no further action needed for this guy because it's just a tool or the brain for this agent to be able to do its job. Another important one that you need to look out for is Tavily. So Tavily is a tool that your AI agents can actually use to do researches. So you also need to create a Tavily account. Just Google Tavily, all right? And then you get your free API key there that you'll be able to use test out this flow, all right? And then you will look out for the configurations. We're using search now. So the idea is that it's going to go to the web and search whatever query that we've given to it. So in the query parameter, I told it to use whatever the model is able to give it. So you should be able to have, you can see practical tip fixed lab of September 2025. That's what the AI was able to hand it to. So, but this is not the first one. I think there are multiple. The first one is top players in AI as of September. The second stuff it added to it was cybersecurity trend of 2025. So it's going to use all those search parameters to actually go on the web and find all the areas. You can see all the sites where the guy is going, trying to find stores. And when they find it, it's going to score them because it's actually AI powered. It will score them, you know, and then the person that the highest weighted one would be the one that will be passed back to us. All right. That's for this tool that is using to research. That means the whatever I send you this month is not going to be exactly what it's going to send you next month because it has to be based on real data and researches as in what is going on outside there. So let's dive deeper into the AI agent itself and see what we gave it as the prompt, both the user prompt and the system prompt. So I'm going to start with the system. We are a newsletter agent for FixLab, a software and research company. Your role is to craft newsletter emails for distribution to email clients, to multiple clients. So always return only valid JSON with two fields, subject, body. The body field must contain complete HTML newsletter content. Keep tone professional yet friendly. Content should be around 300 to 500 words. Include relevant cybersecurity and AI trends. End with clear call to action. Do not include personal greetings. Use generic dear value clients or anything similar. So here, it's actually where you tune up your AI to, to serve you the way you want it. So that's just the best way to actually do this. So um, here is where you take your time to actually craft how you want the agent to actually act and all the things that you need it to do, and you should be able to do that. So this is for the system prompt, and the user prompt is where we actually now be specific. So create a monthly newsletter for FixLab. Current date is this date. The newsletter should include a key cybersecurity trend, LLM focused security, AI agent use capacity, news and new capacity. This is supposed to be like new capacity. top players of the month, AI new releases and updates. Sorry about that. The kind of on the flight line. So you have the AI new releases and updates, AI research trends from this month, a practical tip on solution that fix lab offers like app development, security, AI, automation, a clear call to action like book consultation, explore website, try demo. So important, return only a valid JSON object with exactly these two fields, subject and body, right? The body must be valid HTML 300 to 500 word professional year friendly tone. Do not personalize with generic emails. We'll handle that separately. So that's just the user prompt, right? That this guy is going to use. And you can see the example from the last one that we run. He gave out an output as the key, and then inside you have a JSON. And that JSON has a subject, and then it has a body. And the body is HTML. That's just what this guy is doing. He's the main ultimate agent that handles doing the research, getting all the information that you need to actually send the email, write the email, and then return it back. Now you can see that we have one items here because the number of people in the sheet that has false status is one. We're going to see test it when we add multiple people in the sheet, and then you can see how it works out. Now we have the prepare distribution. So here is where we're going to pick up the emails now, uh, and then be able to map through them, and then be able to send them. So for this part, you don't need to be scared about here. You can always just copy the code and give it to any AI tool to actually write it for you or to explain what's going on. But what is going on here is that this is the agent output, which is coming from here, which has multiple email, if you remember, inside it. All right, depending on the number of um, users that we're trying to send in this case. So first of all, it does this, then it's going to go through the get email, get rows sheet. So it's going to get all the people in the rows, and then we now create a new newsletter object. And from there, we'll pass that JSON output. All right. After we've done the passing, we have to create a new array or a new list. So where we'll map through all the email lists that we have, and then we put each of those email as a new object into that particular email array. So the idea is so that we'll have at the end of the day, like a separated email object that we can just plug in into the email sender. So the list is going to now take all the individual objects coming from here and push it into this to become a list of emails. All right. And just doing that, then we're done, and then we can return the email to send, which is just what is being returned here. So after that was returned, you now go to the emails. This is Gmail node. Gmail node, if you have already created credentials already, you would uh you have it there to pick. But if you don't, you can just create a new credentials. Same format that we'll be using to create credentials. Now, for this email, you have to now plug in. The reason why we had that prepare email is say that we are returning a list of items. So if we have multiple emails, we're going to have multiple items here. But here we just have one for now. All right. So if we have like multiple, which you are going to test eventually, you would see how you can plug them. So you plug in the email. You plug in the email here, for example. You take the email, drag it into this place. So that will be the tool. At least for instance, this is james@yopmail.com. Then subject, you put the subject, the body, you put the body, which is HTML. And meanwhile, the email type here, we're using HTML, not text, right? And then once the execution is done, you get a status of sent on your, and then after that execution has happened, then the next thing we need to do is to update that particular email address row, right? We go back to our sheet, the same sheet that we started with, but we're going to now map through the columns and do a value a matching where that particular email that we just sent something. Now we're going to update the value to true because we are assuming that we've been able to send email to this guy. So that next time the stuff runs, you shouldn't probably get another one, especially for that month. So another thing that we could actually do to improve this, which you can try on your own, is maybe you're going to do another workflow that after the month has happened, at the beginning of the next month, maybe by the end of the month, you actually reset all the emails here. That is if you want to kind of send these emails again next month, but a different email version now. So you could actually add a node that checks if the month date is actually maybe like end of the month, for instance. Then you can reset all the guys to false again, so that you should be able to send all of them a new email. So that would be like your homework. Maybe you can give me your workflow example in the comment section, or what your thoughts is on that one. So let's go ahead and retest this guy afresh. So how do we do that? We're going to go back to the website first, and try to add more emails. So I'm going to add extra email. I'm going to use John Doe. John Doe was sent. I'm going to add Amadi. I just wanted to demonstrate the being able to see multiple images. I'm going to do admin. And this guy has been sent. Let's check the sheet. You can see that we have 3 extra users now that has their values to be false. All right. And then let's go ahead and execute the workflow so that we can see if we have 3 items now, because the first one you already had has received email. So it's just these 3 that need to receive new email. So we're going to go ahead and execute the workflow. So you can see that it put 3 items. These 3 items you use in a table, you can see is John Doe, Amadi, and admin. So it's going ahead now and trying to use all those instructions that we've given it to actually do the actual email writing. And then once the email writing is done, it's going to go ahead and perform the sending, and everything will be done. So fingers crossed. So you can see that the number of researches and items is increasing, just because it has to do it for multiple people. So the value is going to actually be different. So it's done now, 3 items, 3 emails, then it's going to send and it's updated. So if you check the time it took for these actions to happen to send it to 3 people, you can see it's less than maybe it's less than a minute basically. And we're able to get that. So we're going to first of all test if these emails actually came. So the first person that we did send to, if you remember, if you go back to the sheet, is Jado. So look up Jado right here. So you can see Jado. This is the email is sent specifically to Jado. I'm going to check out the next guy. We're going to do only we're able to check out maybe like 2 of them. I think I have admin. Okay, I think these guys reserved this. Maybe we're not allowed to send something to that guy, but I think I still have another one that we can check. Okay, we have Amadi. So let's send to Amadi. So you can see that Amadi also received. So basically, this month in AI arena, companies like OpenAI, Cloud, and Mistral have gained traction, showcasing significant innovations and continued investment in AI technology. So basically, with those very few actions, we've been able to actually automate our email workflow. The last thing I want to share with you is how you'll be wondering probably how I was able to configure this guy. So I'm using um, what is called Google Apps Script. So for every stuff in your Google Sheets, Google Docs, for instance, you could actually be able to write some custom script to actually take some actions. For instance, for this sheet now, if you go here, you can get the app script. With this app script, you can actually automate operation that is happening in this particular worksheet. That's pretty much what I did to be able to get data from the website, and then use that script programmatically from the website to fill in this sheet, so that when someone fills in the email, then they will get updated here. So, and this is the script. So you have Pixlab mailing list. One of the things that you need to look out for is that for you to access this part of the Google application, you must have the same email, only the same email address that you logged into this very worksheet to be able to in that browser. So for instance, if this worksheet now, you can see that I'm actually opening it in a different browser. The reason is because I have multiple accounts logged into this particular browser. So if you try accessing it here, it's going to be conflict. Then you need to make sure that only that email address is logged in into that browser that you're trying to access the sheet and the script, right? Now, inside that function, once you launch a new Google Sheet code, you would find these two functions, do get and do post, and both of them returns this get handle response, right? The handle response is actually where we do the real operation. So you can see that I'm having an email, the parameter. So this is just like a form function. So when you deploy this very guy, is going to give you a URL, which is not like a form action. If you've done something like PHP, in your form operation, you there's a form action that has the function or the API that form is going to actually perform operations. So that's you get that from your deployment URL. So if you want me to go deeper into this, we can actually do it in a different video. But what I want to point to here is this particular function that does the actual appending. So if you see what we're having in n8n, it's relatively the same thing when we're updating a row or we are adding a new row. So here you can see that sheet, we're getting the sheet instance from sheet is equal to this SS is the spreadsheet action object from here. So we're now doing spreadsheet.get active sheet, which is going to get us like the shift one, which is currently active at that moment. And then we'll now do that particular sheet.append row. Inside that row, what do you want to append? We want to append a new date, an email, and then false. False is like, okay, this is a new user. We've not sent anything to him. And after that, respond with success. This guy will be used in the website side to be able to show success to the user. Every other thing I see here, it doesn't really matter. So you don't need to pay attention to it. All right. So this is just the idea on how we're actually updating the website from dynamic, how we're updating the worksheets directly for the website. And that's pretty much what we have on this one, guys. So if you watched to this point, it means that you actually love what we're doing. And don't forget to, click on the subscribe button and like the video. And if you want to get access to the stuff that we worked on, you actually get that from our community, which is actually free right now. For you to get it, you will be able to get the complete workflow as we have. And then you also be able to get all the other resources that is used to actually get this guy to work. So without wasting much time, guy, I'm going to see you in the next one.